Welcome back to Red Sox from Fort Myers, presented by Jordan's Furniture. Happy to be joined by President of Baseball Operations, Dave Dombrowski. Looks like you're getting back in the swing of things. Saw you coming back from your morning run. You're ready to go.
I am ready to go. It's more important that the players and staff are ready to go. But yeah, we're all ready to go. Been down here for about a week, getting all settled in and getting workouts in early in the morning and ready for the players to start in a couple days.
We'll look ahead to the 2019 season in a moment. But first, let's just go back to 2018 and the offseason. What's the offseason like for a front office executive that just won a World Series? Because you don't really get to enjoy the moment that much in terms of what this team was able to accomplish over the course of the year during the season. So the offseason, you might be able to reflect a little bit more, right?
Well, you can reflect some. Of course, you reflect a lot immediately afterwards. So when you're dealing with winning, the parade, but then right away the general managers meetings start the next week. So it's a great feeling. You reflect as you go along, but business sure doesn't stop, and you need to get started right away, because if you don't, you'll fall behind. You're already behind because other clubs have been at it, thankfully so, for about a month preparing for the off season. But for us, it picked up with the general managers meeting soon to follow, winter meetings. Free agents are out there, but there was a lot of time for reflection and fun too. Anytime we get together with scouts, player development people within your own family, it sure is a nice time to be able to celebrate a world championship.
And able to get to work, of course, re-signing Steve Pearce, Nathan Eovaldi, trading for Colton Brewer. But for the most part, this team remains intact from 2018, so you must be pretty happy with your roster.
Well, we are. We are happy with where our roster is. I mean, we're in a position where basically positional player-wise, we have the same club back. Pitcher-wise, starting pitching-wise, we really have everybody back. Bullpen, of course, is the one area which will get a lot of discussion and I'm sure be focused on by people. But we like a lot of our arms and a lot of our people out there. But basically the club is back. We know we should have a good club unless something happens where you get decimated by injury, which you hope never takes place. But we have the foundation to having a good club, and I think they'll be prepared to come back and battle and see if we can try to repeat.
Well, you mentioned the bullpen, so we will start there. Of course, Joe Kelly off in free agency, Craig Kimbrell still in free agency. A lot of people pointing at Matt Barnes to be the next closer. We talked to him this morning. He said he doesn't see it that way right now. How do you see it?
Well, right now I think it's still open. Matt Barnes is clearly one of the candidates. He's pitched very well for us as a setup guy over the last few years. Ryan Brazier coming back, he's pitched well for us. He has closed more in the minor leagues, so he's a possibility. Tyler Thornburg, who basically nobody talks about, which I can understand from our perspective, because in Boston we really haven't seen the Tyler Thornburg that was in existence in Milwaukee, but he feels good, he's healthy, and he was one of the best closers in the National League before we acquired him that year. Even a guy like Stephen Wright, who with his knuckleball could come in here and surprise people as far as closing games is concerned. He's a quality big league pitcher. We look for him to be ready to go for the season. So we have some internal candidates. We'll keep an open mind, and of course you're looking all the time other places. But it wouldn't surprise me if one of these individuals in our camp where our closers come opening day.
Are you still exploring free agency? Because we still do have a long way to go before the start of the regular season.
Well, I think I would say we're exploring, but not big name free agents. I would say they'd be more apt to be a big league invite on a minor league contract to try to come in and compete. Of course, we'll scout during spring training, and that'll be one of our focuses, is our bullpen people with other organizations. But the reality is every club has an area you're probably going to address. That's the one area with ours that stick out. But we like our people that are in camp, and we think that they can do the job for us.
We saw Chris Sale on the mound today for the first time since recording the final out of the World Series. Of course, he was dealing with that shoulder inflammation towards the end of the year. Looked pretty healthy today. He was smiling, so that's a good sign going into spring training.
Well, it is a good sign. He's cleared to go 100%. There's no concerns from our perspective, from a health perspective. He's been throwing all along in the wintertime. He has long toss. He's felt good. Our doctors and medical people, trainers, have cleared him. So when he comes to camp, he's ready to go 100%. Now, when I say that, all of our starting pitchers will be a little bit slow to get out of the gate and get on the mound in regular games, because we're going to be careful with them as far as the number of innings they pitch because of how long they pitched last season. But as far as health is concerned, he's cleared and ready to go.
David Ortiz posted to the social media a picture of he and Rafael Devers sharing some of his experiences over his major league career. And of course, last year you had a number of Red Sox alumni coming back to spring training, David Ortiz being one of them, Mike Lowell, to work with Devers specifically at third base. Do you anticipate the same sort of thing this year?
I think so. One of the things that's fun with the Red Sox camp here and being part of the tradition is that we have a lot of our veteran old-timers come back into camp, some of the superstar-type players, Hall of Famers. So you'll see them. You'll see Jim Rice. You'll see Louis Tion, Jason Varitek, of course, Dwight Evans, and Derek Lowe and other people coming through. So, and I think that also the tie with Alex Cora, having played in the organization and known so many of the players, he's in a position where you'll see them and many more. So it'll be an exciting camp from that perspective. And the more experience, the more we can really rely upon those individuals, and they talk about their experiences not only as players but playing in Boston. I think is helpful for our players.
Yeah, we'll talk to Derek Lowe. We talked about Derek Lowe last year, working with Rick Porcello, another one of those guys. So you mentioned Alex Cora. We're actually going to talk about Alex Cora coming up after the break. Red Sox President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski joining us on Red Sox from Fort Myers.